Hi, I'm John Edmonds. I'm back again with a handy tip for wintering your bees. Wintering of the bees has changed in its philosophy over the years. In the old days, when my father started keeping bees, always they had vents in the lids of the hive. And what happened was the heat of the hive would come up and dissipate out through the vents. So the bees had to try and keep warm all the time. So we now make a good solid lid and no vents, and we also put 15 mils of solid timber in the lid so that it's nice and strong and got a good insulation. Another thing that we have only been doing the last few years is we've incorporated a sheet of sisolation. This sisolation now is much better than the old tar paper. It's a woven product. It's light, it's strong, but we keep it away like that with the foil down in the winter time, and in the summertime we turn it over so that we reflect the heat away from the bees. We do think it does help. Underneath that we have a sheet of plastic, and it's just a clear piece of plastic. You could use coloured plastic, but the beauty of this heavy duty clear plastic is in the winter time, if you want to have a quick look at your bees, see how big the cluster is without disturbing the bees, you can lift it off, and the bees have stuck it down all around the edge with propolis, and you can see the size of the cluster of the bees quite easily, and you have a good idea, and you're not disturbing your bees. They don't even realise that you've opened it up to have a look at them. Now, timber boxes seem to work very, very well in the Australian conditions. Our climate is not overly cold, and the bees seem to need that temperature to be able to winter efficiently. You want a good, strong cluster of bees, and in most areas you'll find a single decker box of bees, particularly in the southern Victorian area, will winter better than any other size. The other thing we have been introducing of recent times has been vented bottom boards. Now this idea we picked up from the New Zealanders, because when they got varroa, they found that the varroa some of them will drop off and fall through the bottom, and once they're out of the hive they can't come back in. So they then discovered that their bees were wintering better because moisture, rubbish, mummies, chalk brood mummies tend to fall through the grid. A lot of people have been using stainless steel mesh, and we started off with stainless steel mesh, but we found that the chalk brood mummies still accumulated on top of the chalk brood. So we've now gone over to these bamboo excluders, queen excluders, but they are of a size that our bees can't get through because they've been made for Asian bees. And we find that they work very, very well. We put a skirt around the hive, and that way the wind doesn't blow underneath. But for those people who are worried about the wind coming underneath, we have a slit where you can slide a sheet of aluminium down to there, and that then seals off underneath. So as a result, it keeps your bees warm from the wind. Another advantage we found is when we're shifting the bees, they're able to suck air up into the hive and keep it cool, so they don't melt down or smother in the process of shifting. As a result, the benefit is we can have a small entrance, so it's much smaller if you have wasps or mice and things like that. And we put the hives down in pairs, so one entrance is on one side, one entrance is on the other side, so that you can maximise the hives together and yet the bees orientate to the corners, and that seems to work very well. And we have found that these have been very, very successful, and we're changing over all our hives to this pattern.